All right, I figured I better make another video in August because it's damn near gone. August 21st, 2024. It's almost noon here in Ohio. And time is flying by. I don't know about you guys, but it's, I close my eyes, open my eyes back up, and it's like a week later. It's just, holy shit. And we've been so busy that you just keep going in the grind and you don't realize, and you look up, holy shit, it's Wednesday already. I thought it was, Monday. So, not literally, I'm just saying it's moving that fast. So, the world, again, just continues to get ground down and moved by these occult families or satanic cults or Nephilim cults or Elohim worshipers, whatever names you want to give them. There's a bunch of them. But it's basically families that pass down oppression and traumatize their kids. And then they get in power and run shit. And they run it into the ground every time. And it's the same thing I've seen in every cycle. They exist for a reason. You can't get rid of them. That would add negative karma on you by harming them. And you don't want to just not have them at all because they offer resistance for us to wake up and say, I see what you did there. I'm going to do better now and change it. So in no way am I saying I'm mad at them or hateful of them or want to hurt them or any of that. I love them. I love them just like I love everybody else. I acknowledge the fact that they are doing a deed that they signed up to do. Their soul signed up to be that oppressive soul to make us wake up and get better. So I forgive them in a way. However, I don't forget what they're doing. And I know exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it. And the truth is, if you are doing good, source love in your heart, the creative consciousness that we all are, if you're working with that to be love and help and heal and not take and harm, you're more powerful than anybody out there doing that harm. Anyone, any one of them, even the main one, the main one that they follow, you're more powerful than that. Matter of fact, the main one they follow, I think, would actually be proud of you overcoming that, rising above that, because the existence of that itself is to train you to be better. The Demiurge, Yaldabaoth, whatever you want to give a name for, that's purpose is to give us hardship so that we rise above that hardship. And by doing that, it's necessary. That's why it exists. And we're seeing right now the world ran by these, split personality types that have been traumatized since childhood, and then they have, certain codes that are read off at certain times to snap them into that personality or this personality or whatever. They right now are trying to do what they are being programmed to do, which is control everything and everyone in this realm. And it never works. They get far. They get a lot of people, but they never win. They're designed not to. They're designed to offer resistance in the meantime until they lose. And it always happens that way. Now it depends on how bad things need reset, how much damage they do, how many of you willingly or blindly follow them dictates how bad the reset's got to be. And remember, these physical bodies, they're temporary. Your soul is what's important. That's what they're after. They're after you to harm your soul. They can't touch your spirit. Your spirit is source. That essence that does not change. It's always is, always has been, always will be. Immutable, immovable. The soul, on the other hand, is yours to have a little more wiggle room. You can harm it or you can help it. And if you listen to them, you're going to harm it. If you listen to your heart, to source what you feel, after balancing yourself and healing yourself, that's when the intuition works very well. If you're very out of balance, your gut's out of balance, and you're eating GMOs and you're taking pharmaceuticals, your intuition's not where it needs to be, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. That's where this phrases come from when people say they don't trust their heart or their emotions. That's because they've done things to bring their heart and emotions out of balance. So once you heal that, that's your greatest gift, is your intuition, your inner knowing. And those deep state people who are, I call them deep state just for a simple word to use, but out of balance ego is probably a better way to say it. They ignore that intuition. They use the left hemisphere. I've said this in many videos. They use the left hemisphere brain to think they're doing what's right, but they're actually just doing what they're programmed to do, which is harm. And a lot of them wake up and say, all right, I'm done with this. I'm coming home. I'm going to do better. And unfortunately, there's a lot of snares and traps set up for that. You know, like the Catholic religion and Christians. A lot of that is set up by the demiurge to trap those who are saying, all right, enough of the satanic cult. We're going to go find Jesus and go that way. Instead of realizing that the truth is right in the middle. The chrism, the cerebral spinal fluid that goes up your spine. Your consciousness, that's what's important. Not a temple, not a church, your temple, your body, your building. That's what's important. The spirit that's within that house, more importantly. And remember I said the temple, the physical body is temporary, but it's very important while you're here. It houses your soul, and it can affect your soul. So heal the body, which helps the soul heal, which then does what the spirit intended to do, which is heal yourself, learn the lessons, and go home eventually when you're ready. So right now the world's pushing for war, which is what Yaldabaoth, the Demiurge, and all those want, because they feed off of that. No matter it doesn't matter what side's what, as long as people are fighting in stress and that energy of our soul and our body is being stressed and brought out, they feed on it. They love it. And that's what they're trying to do again. So it's up to us to either allow that or not allow it. I choose to speak up everywhere I can, any way I can, because that's what I was chosen to do, what I was asked to do, and it's what I've chosen to do. And we have answers to everything. You have the answer to everything you need. It's so obvious once you do that work and you just start putting pieces together. And I mean, it's not easy by any means to get to that point, but once you're once you're close enough and you've healed enough, the answers just, they flow. It's remarkable. It's beautiful. Because I'm thinking back, I just listened to a podcast of a gentleman. It was like a 2-hour podcast of a guy that was in one of these cults. And it's so, to hear what he went through, if he was telling the truth. But I know that stuff does happen. So regardless if it was him or somebody else, that shit does happen. And then I remember what I went through, the tortures that I went through, this nonstop surgeries and the oppression and the pills and shots, injections of Botox and radio frequency ablations and spinal fusions and screws ripping out of my bone every time I coughed or sneezed or moved or breathed. It was hell for a long, long time. And I remember when I was in that, there was a lot of times I didn't see an answer, a hope. And now that I've healed that, it's amazing. That's why I keep making these videos to share, because if one of you sees what I feel and says, you know what, I'm doing it, that just motivated me. That makes it all worth it. So I can make 1 million videos if I have to. If it helps one person, mission accomplished. And I already know it's helped more than one person. You guys reach out to me and send me emails and letters and stuff, and it's great. I love it. And I'm going to keep doing it. So getting ready to run in the house now to do some office work. Today's an off day, not in the field. I just stopped at a job to pick up some cones, but that was it. Now I'm going to do all my paperwork and catch up on things. Get ready for the next big job. So I love you guys. Be well. It's Wednesday the 21st, I said, and to give you a quick heads up, they're really trying to push large firecrackers, the ones that they dropped on some Japanese towns back in the day. They're trying to push that, and they're going to try to blame anything they can. Right now the DNC is going on, which is just demonic. It's demonic, basically. That party's been almost completely taken over, and the other side is very much taken over as well. Hopefully there's still some good guys out there. Hopefully Trump is doing good. A lot of people say no. A lot of people haven't researched him, though, as much as those who support him have. We'll see what happens. It doesn't matter who's up there doing what. What matters is what you're doing right here on the ground. The grassroots, that's what matters. Every day, everywhere you talk, everyone you talk to, every store you buy something at, every meal you consume, everything you watch, all of that, that's your currency. Spend wisely. Spend wisely. And they're trying to push one more thing before I hang up here. They're trying to push the Mpox, which a lot of people are saying was already put in the COVID shots and then was activated later on with maybe a microburst millimeter bandwidth, 5G tower, or an airplane above, or a balloon above. If you watch some of these documentaries and listen to these targeted individuals of what happens and how elaborate shit gets, I don't think pretty much all the conspiracies are true. It's crazy. Like there's so many methods and mechanisms and so much effort being put in to trick you and harm you, all of us, that, most people that I see would just say, no, that's no way. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? They don't look at you, like this guy in the video said, they don't look at you as them, as they. They look at you as a beast, like something to be controlled or killed. That's how they look at you, all of us. They look at all of us that way. So I choose to have the eyes of a child, the giddiness, the excitement, the love, irrefutable, unbreakable love for everyone's souls out there, every spirit. I even said in the beginning of the video, I don't care who you are, and I said in another video, I care who you are, where you are, what you're doing, what color, what gender, what religious backgrounds, what cult you're part of. I love your soul. That essence that I share with you, source, that love. I love you. I don't care who you are. You could be the worst person in this existence doing the most grotesque things that just I don't want to think about. I still love your soul. Your ego, that's a different story. We got problems with that one. The soul, though, I still love your soul. And I know there's hope for you. If you're feeling broken, you're in pain from surgeries, or you're one of these tortured people that are part of the cults, there's still hope for you. And I'm not going to do the find Jesus method and the Christian method, because that's a trap too. Find your answers in here. If you want to use Christ consciousness, that's perfecting the oil in your spine up to your brain to reach these levels of pure love, pure joy. And it's proven with science, and they know this. And that's why a lot of these cults harm children, because they still have that essence pure, and they're not tainting it in this world that we live in with a lot of GMOs and stuff. So if the enemy knows it and is working with it, why would you doubt it? Look at it, take it for a grain of salt, what everyone says, but honor yourself, show yourself that love, and heal. And that's what this is all about. That's why all this oppression exists, because you are literally source tricking yourself into thinking that you're this physical vessel, and you're going out about your life and you're not paying attention to it. Don't mean everybody and everyone's listening to me right now, because if you're taking the time to listen to my video 14 minutes in, you're probably already pretty dedicated researching things. But people in general, if you're just obnoxiously ignorant to what's going on, you need lessons to wake you up. You need feedback. So if your house is a mess and the lights are off and you're just stomping through hard as you can, you're going to hit your pinky toe on some shit and remind you, hey, maybe I should clean that up or move that or adjust that or turn a light on. And that's what this world's doing. If you're just walking around making noise and you're not paying attention, you're going to have things to help you pay attention. And you might get mad at it at first because you don't realize it's a lesson. But once you realize it's a lesson to help you, then you say, oh, then you get excited and say, all right, I'm paying attention now. What else you got for me? Let me figure this out. So I love you guys. Be well. And please, like I've said before, please don't go into parking lots and get shots from strangers. That's just, we're beyond that now. We should be. And don't wear your mask in your car by yourself. It's just poisoning you with CO2. It's making your body acidic, which makes you sick. I've said that many times before. And you don't need any pharmaceuticals or injections from any big pharma. They're deceiving the world. That's part of that cult. You can do it if you want, but I choose not to feed something that's harming me. And that's definitely trying to harm us. All right, guys, be well.